Welcome to Made for Mondays, the source for digging a little deeper into the Believers Church Sunday messages and finding ways to apply them to our daily lives. Together, let's take a deeper look and find a way to bring Mondays back to life.
Hey everybody, welcome to the pod. My name is Heather, and who are you fellas?
Hey Heather, name's Tyler. Here, you know, I'm a tired man.
Well rested.
Well rested from yesterday.
Hey everyone, I am Joe, and glad to be up here with you guys.
Tyler, you're barely hanging on, bud.
Yeah. You know, when you have in-laws in town, it was great, and they slept well, and then the difference a day makes,
Yeah.
But
I like that shirt you're wearing.
Oh yeah, it happened to be the first shirt on my pile. I said, you know what? I'm popping this on,
Okay.
especially for the pod.
Yeah. So you got that new babe.
Got the new babe at home. He'll be 5 weeks this week.
Wow.
It's
Already.
crazy already.
Yeah.
It seems like just the other day we were sitting there waiting for him to come.
I know.
For a couple weeks.
Couple weeks. He's here. He cries and poops and does all the things babies do. But it's so cool to just see, like, he's just so small and see, like, and feel the love of God towards him and, like, the love of the Father, all these things, all these emotions and all this stuff. It's just,
I know.
It's really cool.
Yep.
So
My favorite thing is that Karina left for a few days with Silas.
Yeah.
And Tyler was real psyched about it. He
Yep.
was real pumped.
Yep.
He was like, I'm going to have this house to myself. I don't have to listen to this baby cry for a couple days. I get to play some video games.
Yep.
It's going to be me and Murphy.
That's what I thought.
Life's going to be great.
And then?
And then last 2 days, and I had to go get him. I missed him, and it was so weird, man. I'm so used to I can sit and play video games all day. I was so hyped, and then I missed him so much.
And then how was it a couple hours after you got back?
I was like, what did I do? I had it. I was good. And all of a sudden I wasn't. But I was like, and then I'm thinking, this is worth it. As he's crying in my face, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I don't want to be anywhere else. It's so weird. It's so weird. Yeah. But yeah, wouldn't trade it for anything. Wouldn't trade it for anything.
It's so relatable. Anytime Lee will take the kids out of town, she'll always let me know before she leaves. Okay, text me when you reach your point, because she knows I'm excited. Alone time, I like to clean when I got the house to myself, all that. But then it's only a matter of hours or at least a day. I'm like, all right, come on back. I need you back. Need the kids back.
That's wild, man.
Yep.
You didn't think you'd feel that way so soon, right, Tyler?
Never would have thought it. Especially, like, I get it for when they're a little older, they can walk and talk and stuff. I feel like I'd be more apt to do it then. Right now, he's just chilling. He doesn't do much, but I still miss him,
Yeah.
Tyler's been saying stuff like, I just want him to, like, smile at me. Like, give me something.
That's it.
That's what Tyler
Little
keeps
positive
saying.
feedback.
Give me something. Come on, man.
Just all I need, something. Now he's starting to grab, like, stuff, and I think he's smiling.
A little
Might be
bit.
gas, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
But I'll take it.
I'll take it. I'll take
little
it.
positive
Little
reinforcement.
something.
Yeah.
So
He's so cute. You've had him in the office a few times now.
he's a cute guy. That saves him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saves him.
Yeah, like,
Still haven't gotten to hold him,
you
though.
gotta get myself together.
Still haven't gotten to hold him, though. So
Gotta make
doesn't
that
count
happen. Gotta make that. Well, people held him last time we brought him. Yeah.
Oh.
Were you here?
I
No.
must not have been, because I would have held him for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it again real soon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. He's a cutie. All right, guys. What'd you do this weekend? Tyler didn't sleep. Joe,
Yeah.
what about you?
Friday night we went to the Savannah Bananas.
Yes,
I saw
that was
you
so
there,
fun.
you were there too. Yeah, we had a lot of Believers people there.
Oh, my gosh.
A couple sections, it felt like.
Yeah, I think they
people.
were. And we had a lot of Believers peeps that ended up on the field,
Yeah. Yes.
which was a
They got
riot.
hand selected to play in a couple of the games, and it was fun and funny.
Very funny.
Yes.
Yeah, have you seen, do you know what the Savannah Bananas,
aren't they like the
What that-
Harlem Globetrotters? Kind of like baseball.
that's what it's kind of
kinda?
compared to.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's so fun.
It was fun. I was the grumpy old man leading up to it.
You were?
Well,
Really?
I love baseball, so I just want to see
So
a
it didn't
baseball
seem
game.
like-
So like when they first started doing this, I saw
You're a purist.
I saw clips of it, and I was like, "Oh, this is really cool. That's fun." And then as I've seen the clips a couple of years, I'm like, I don't want to
Just
go
play
see
baseball.
people dance and just play some baseball. But it was fun. And we talked about being a father. That is what it's all about. So Easton had a blast.
Oh,
And
okay. Yep.
if he's happy, I'm happy. So,
Okay.
but it was fun.
I think baseball takes way too long. I get bored. I mean, I like going to a baseball game, but after a while, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Right.
this is like, I'm getting a little bored.
So you enjoy the fact that like at those games,
Oh
there's
my gosh.
always something going on.
It was non-stop entertainment
How long
and
was it? Was it
loud.
They have a
9
2-hour
innings.
limit.
Whoa.
But
Okay.
it's a whole day. Like they start at 3:30
Okay.
We
doing
weren't
a
there for
parade
that.
and
We
stuff.
got
Yeah, we
there
didn't get there till later.
late.
But they start at 3:30 with a parade and all this stuff outside the stadium. And then the game doesn't start till 7. But the game itself only lasts 2 hours. They have a clock
Okay.
running. So
Okay. It's not
But
too
yeah,
bad.
but it was
It's fun?
hilarious from the time that like the game starts. I mean, it is full on audience participation, and that it was packed. And they did this 3 nights, right?
Yeah.
I think it was Friday,
Yep.
Saturday, and Sunday. And it's loud the whole time. Tyler, I don't know if this is up your lane. I think you would have been like there for about 2 innings and been like, this is enough for
That's
me.
about it.
There are too many people here and
Yeah.
it is too loud. And you would have been like, Karina, we gotta go.
We gotta bounce.
We
Is
gotta
this-
go.
Is the stadium right there by like the ports that Virginia
Yeah.
Beach?
It-
Okay, so we went to visit Silas's great grandfather for the first time, so to let him hold him and stuff. And I saw this super packed stadium. That's the base
Harbor
that's-
Park. Yeah, in
so that's
Norfolk.
where. Okay, so we went by, we saw it, and it was. We'd never seen it that packed before.
Oh yeah.
So,
It
okay,
was
that was-
packed.
And look,
Okay.
guys, they gave us a great email with all these details before, and it was enough for me to be like, I'm not going to try to park in this parking lot.
Oh, no.
And it was the first time I took the ferry over to the game,
Oh yeah?
and it was perfect.
Okay.
Went and ate at Fish and Slips before.
Oh,
Took the
nice.
ferry over, and on the way back, zero traffic whatsoever.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, we've just parked at our kid's house
Yeah.
and then walked over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The ferry was free, and I didn't know that even if you go to a Tides game during the season,
The
and
ferry
everything
was
that-
free? Mm-hmm. Oh,
for the
nice.
Tides, it's always free.
I didn't
when
know
they have
that.
a game. Yeah, so I'll
check it
never
out.
do it the other way again.
Okay.
That's awesome. I didn't know that either.
You have to show your game ticket.
Yeah,
normally,
good to
but yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Okay. That'll get me to go. If parking's not bad.
yeah.
I got
Yeah.
designated like this is how it works every time.
And the ferry's cool. It was
Okay.
fun.
Oh yeah, did you just park at Crawford Place? Like in
Yeah.
the parking garage? Yeah.
Yeah,
Very awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So what else did you do? Anything else fun?
Caught up on yard work, so yeah, nothing.
yeah.
Yeah,
You were saying you're so sore today.
I'm so sore. Like I had to do so much yard work Saturday that like I'm using these muscles that I don't normally use. And so if you're watching out there and you see me like moving all around and everything, it's because I'm sore.
And our couch is all creaky now.
Creaky
So
little move.
yeah, I don't know what's going on. We're falling apart over here. Tyler's
mess.
sleepy. Joe's
Hurting up. Just
hurting. Yeah, we're a wreck
What about
today.
you? Did you have a good weekend? other than-
Yeah, I had a good weekend. What did I do? We had some good family time. We were at Savannah Bananas. It was finally like nice weather. So
Yeah.
we were
Yesterday
outside.
was hot. The people that posted
Yesterday
from
was
Believers that
hot.
went yesterday were saying how
Oh,
hot it
at
was.
the game.
At the game, yeah.
Yeah.
So Friday night was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect weather, finally.
Yeah. So yeah, we just did some of that stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of an uneventful weekend, but I'll take it.
Yes.
that's good.
Sometimes those are the best.
Life has
are-
been kind of crazy, so
Yep.
I'll take it. Well, today we started Luke chapter 12 and 13 for our Bible reading challenge. Chapter 12 was a long chapter.
Own chapter.
Yes.
Yep.
Anything stand out to you guys from this week's reading?
I'll always give plugs for street lights
Yes.
Yep.
because they always help me get through those long chapters like that.
Yes.
Especially at this point in my life, when
Right.
sleep is not a thing.
And like keeps you on your on the edge.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
where they narrate and do
Yeah,
all that.
storytelling, a little music in the background.
But I just love, how Jesus, because I have a good chunk of, I don't want to call them a chunk, a good group of friends that are atheists. And I love to, because I wouldn't say that they are anti-religion, but they always do have good questions about, like, so what about churches or people that say they believe this, but do this thing? And one of the things I love to talk with him about is how Jesus, the people that he had the most to say about and against were the religious people of his day.
Right.
And these two chapters highlight that in a big way. And so,
yeah, the hypocrisy in the church.
yes, and he points it out, and he doesn't let not let anything slide. And I just love that that we have that example, that he was. You would say Christianity, you can call it a religion if you'd like to, but he was against those that were keeping people from finding God. And it's really cool just to see that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So when you're reading through chapters that involve a lot of parables, I think the parables can, depending on what you're going through in life, can speak directly to you just with the words. But I looked into the parable of the fig tree this morning, because when I first read it, because if you're not going through something, maybe you just overlook it or what have you. But so I'm not going through anything that in life currently that this parable he's speaking on would speak to. So I was like, I'm going to dig in and see what is really going on here. And it was super interesting to me. So the vineyard owner, which is God in this story, is at his breaking point, because for 3 years, this fig tree is not producing fruit. So the nation of Israel, for 3 years, Jesus and John the Baptist were out there spreading the word, and Israel was not showing repentance. And so God is fed up. And in Luke chapter 3, we actually saw John the Baptist give a warning to that, saying that the axe is laid by the tree, so he's ready. And Jesus shows compassion, Jesus, the vineyard keeper, showing compassion here, saying, give me another year. Please give me another year. I'm going to water and fertilize this tree myself so it produces fruit. And, we know the gospel, so we know right around the corner we're about to have the crucifixion, the story of Lazarus, all that. So maybe Jesus is thinking that will be, what finally leads Israel to repent. But yeah, I just found it super interesting that I think our time here, like it shouldn't be taken for granted. Like it is just a small time in the whole grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what we're showing here. And I don't think it was a coincidence that he, right before telling this parable of the fig tree, he mentions again the fall of the Tower of Siloam. Yeah. Yeah. So I thought all that was really interesting, digging into parables. It's fun.
Yeah, I love that. I also just love, and it's mentioned in Matthew too, but just about worry. And when he's talking about, don't worry about how the Lord provides for you. Like he even takes care of the birds of the air and the flowers of the field, and how much more does the Father care about you? And there's so many things that we can get ourselves worked up over. And it's just always a really good reminder. It's actually what my whole tattoo is about.
Oh, cool.
But it's just a good reminder that like there's so many things that we can get anxious about, and but God He's so concerned about the smallest detail of our lives, and that He provides for us. And I just love whenever I run across that passage.
I love that
Scripture.
part too. We have a worship song that speaks into that.
Yeah.
How much more does he love you?
Yeah.
It talks about the sparrow and everything.
Yeah, lots covered in this couple of chapters that we're going to be digging into this week. So if you haven't joined our Bible reading challenge, we would encourage you to do that. You can find it on our Believers app. You can just hit the reading plan and then click on plan, and you'll be able to jump right in. So don't worry about catching up. If you haven't started, you can start today.
Yep.
That's right.
And we'll be reading through those 2 chapters all through the week. So we hope that you'll join us. So this Sunday, we were continuing our Extraordinary Nobodies series. And Tyler, you brought us a message about Barnabas.
Yes.
And it was such a great message. You were so passionate in your delivery this week. And even though you're very sleep deprived, you brought it yesterday. It was so great. It was just so good. But you started off the message with this really fun display of some of our unsung heroes that we have in our lives. And Jeremy did such a great job of
Those graphics
producing
did
some
turn out
really
very-
fun
It looks so
They
good.
were so
pictures with some of our staff members. And the first one was, and I loved your description of these people in our lives, because as you were describing them, I was like, yes, these are unsung heroes. And the first one was the dishwasher, which Rochelle displayed so beautifully. But the dishwasher of like at the family events and like
Good Lord.
the
Yeah.
big holidays or the big family gatherings. So we have these like awesome events that happen, which these holidays are right around the corner, you know, with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. And we're going to have these huge meals.
Yes, we will.
And then everyone spreads out all through the house.
Yep.
And they start taking their naps and relaxing. But then there's the one person that ends up in the kitchen washing all of the dishes, all of the pots and pans, all of the things.
Yes.
Yep. Tyler
And-
said the carnage that follows a family
Yeah,
meal.
it's true.
It
It's
is,
true.
it is a wreck.
Yeah. Who's usually the one that's washing all the dishes for y'all's families?
That's a great question. I would say if I'm at my in-laws' place, my mother-in-law,
Okay.
Yeah, same.
she is a beast in there. She
Yeah.
she does it so fast and she's ready to go, knocks it all out. But I will say, if she's cooking, Karina and I will usually hop in there.
Okay.
We're not as good, we're not as efficient, but we try to help out.
Yeah.
So that's
Well, it all depends on where you're at, right? If you're hosting, the obligation kind of falls on you.
true.
Kinda. But yeah, my mother-in-law does a great job at that. But even when we're at my mom's, we don't have to mess with that.
Yeah.
She'll put it off for later,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
love to.
Love that.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
At my house, typically, if I'm doing the cooking or if the girls and I are doing the cooking, then we don't clean up. So that's all on the boys
That's
to
a good
do.
rule. That's the
Nice.
rule I want to have.
Yeah. Yep.
Whoever
The boys
cooks gets
do it.
to
Yep.
hang it. Yeah.
Yep.
Because cooking
Yeah.
is just oof.
So then Nate leads the charge with all the cleanup stuff.
That's the
That's
rule.
typical though, even when we like have
Yep.
parties and stuff at our house or get-togethers, Nate is usually on all the cleanup stuff.
That's what we do every night.
Mm-hmm.
She cooks, I clean. I'm not going to bite the hand that feeds me.
That is a good move.
Good job. Yeah. What about seat holders? So Megan did the seat holder one. That was great too, because you were describing the person that like stands in line for everybody or
Yes.
like gets into the auditorium and like saves all the seats. And then you are like the villain because everyone gets so mad
They
at
get
you
so
for
mad at
doing
you.
that.
You just sit there and they take it. I've never done this once in my life. So if you ask me, I'm going to just say no to you. You know,
Yeah.
I try to get there early if I'm going to show up because I feel bad asking someone to hold a line because I know how I'd feel. But some people love doing it. They will do it.
They love
No
holding the line.
shame. They will hold that line, get there early, show up, put the stuff out, save the seats, and wave that finger. So, nope, it's not for you.
It's not
Yeah.
going to be me. We're chatting about this with the staff about concerts. And Megan Angel said that they have I was like, because I'm telling her I don't do lawns anymore, and for that reason, I know I can go into the concert whenever I want, and my seat is there waiting for me. And she said, well, I don't really have that problem either because we usually get like front row of the lawn because we have one person every concert. He goes in as soon as the gates open and holds this huge area for us. I was like,
Every time. He
my
just does it.
anxiety would be through the roof.
Yes.
So does he like mark it off
Yeah,
or
like
something?
blankets
oh,
and everything.
Okay.
Just marks off the whole thing as
Well,
the
if he
crowd's
has
coming
blankets, what's the problem?
in. I'm not doing that.
Oh,
Like even
that wouldn't bother me.
even in here, it's not that big of a deal because there are seats. So hey,
Yeah.
I'm blocking these 4 seats. There, it's just on the lawn, just a free for all.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Nope.
And then the final one was the remote control finder.
Yes.
And you made a big distinction. And you even said, what did you call the person who's the remote control?
Just a loser. The remote loser. I hope it was like a pun. I guess it's a little bit of a pun because it can be a little bit of a loser at times.
Yeah.
Because that's me. I can touch the remote.
And
I don't
you
care
lose
what.
it?
It's just gone.
Oh, okay.
In the crevice of the couch. It'll be in the bathroom.
And do you
It
have
might
the
be-
Apple TV remote?
No, it's the Fire Stick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know what that remote looks like, but the Apple TV remote is the smallest remote.
Oh yes,
Yes.
they are.
And
yeah.
it's like really slender and it just that thing, you can lose it. We have like a universal remote thing that's huge. So
Okay, that's
like
nice
almost
to have.
impossible to lose. But yeah, some of those remotes are
They're
really
small.
tiny.
Fire stick is small too.
Yeah.
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 So I'm thinking about going full dad mode, getting like
Yeah.
Velcro, putting it on, just stick.
Well,
that's,
look, my
that's what I'm-
my father-in-law got tired of this a while back, and he bought on Amazon. There's a little thing that you can stick on the back of your remote,
Okay.
and then it's like controlled through an app. And so you lose the remote, you hit it, and it's like Find My
Oh,
iPhone.
it's like a tag.
Yeah,
like
it starts
yeah.
beeping.
There
I'm
you
gonna
go.
I'm gonna have to do that.
Maybe you need that.
I need that.
Because
Yes.
you have. Oh, that has nothing to do with finding something. You have like that block thing that you have. on
Oh
your
yeah,
phone.
yeah. That's a different.
That's
thing.
a whole other thing.
But
Yeah. Do you have any other unsung hero things that you were thinking of when you picked those 3? Did you or do you have any others that come to mind?
I thought of one that I could have put in there is the person who will drive you to the airport or pick you up.
Oh, that's a great
that's
one.
a
I should have.
great
I was like,
one.
how did I miss that?
That is a great
That
one.
would
That is a good
person.
one.
That is a gem. You find that person for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 But
I mean, at this point, I just figure like get an Uber or pay
Yeah.
to park your car.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the person that'll tell you your zipper's down,
Yes.
or that toilet paper's on your shoe?
Yes.
Yep.
They should be that person.
That's it. We could've
Then
made
you
a
could have
whole-
tied back
done
to
a
Doug's message.
whole-
There you go. And Joey's neither of those people.
I'm
That's-
neither of
you're
those.
not gonna-
I think throughout all these examples we just listed, I am not an unsung hero.
I feel like you could do one of them.
Joey's not a hero.
I think I'm gonna
That's
do
what
the, I'm gonna do the dishes this Thanksgiving.
Okay. There
You
you go.
are.
There you go.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna step
I'm gonna
in.
call your mama and tell her.
Don't do that. Or she listens. So
She listens.
yeah.
Okay.
Dang
Well,
it.
let's hold you to it.
Forgot about that.
You just told her. She can hold you to it now.
That's good.
All right. Well, so we went from that. You kind of went into just how many unsung heroes we have here at Believers, and that we see that all throughout all of our impact team members, which was just such a great transition. I mean, because it's so true. It is so true for everyone from like B group leaders to production people to, everyone who's seen, not seen, every one of them. And I just love like drawing attention to that on Sunday morning from stage, because a lot of people don't ever
no
get
idea.
to know like how many volunteers we have here, and that as a staff, like we truly do understand that nothing happens here without them.
Yes.
Like
Yep.
nothing happens here without them. So then you went into just the being able to share one of their stories. It would be so fun to tell so many of their
So
stories.
many you could tell.
But one of them was Amanda's testimony. And her story is so powerful. I mean, I've heard it shared before in like different pieces of it before, and then watching her video this week was just awesome. And we're just so privileged as staff members to be able to have like
Yeah.
a front row seat to see so many stories like hers just come to life, like we're able to watch, hear how their lives are transformed just from being in community with people here at Believers, and watching how Jesus like grabs a hold of their heart and just lets them like come to life. It's just so incredible. So what has happened to your guys' walk with Jesus because of those stories? Like, can you just share how having that front row seat has actually like affected you?
I think it's given my walk with like a sense of purpose and gratitude at the same time, because that's our mission, right? So you see these stories, and if you're fortunate enough to be a part of these individual stories that are spoken on Sundays, then yeah, you just feel this sense of purpose and a maturity in your faith.
Yeah, I know we'll get to Barnabas and all that a little later, but even just looking at like his story and seeing the things that God called him to, the yeses he made, and the impact that we still feel today, I think when I hear stories like Amanda's or see different impact team members, either how it's impacted them or how they make different impacts, it just helps me to have a more eternal perspective in life.
Yeah.
Because on this side of eternity, we get in the rat race, we get in the hustle and bustle of life, and we can lose sight of like what God has for us and what will be when he comes back and when we're with him forever, that there will be people in heaven that are impacted, that maybe will come up to us and say, I trusted Jesus. Well, now you know me, we're in heaven, all that stuff, but I trusted Jesus because of something that you did. Like the small little seed you planted led to this, which led to this, which led to this, but it started with you, and God watered it and grew. So yeah, just helping have a eternal perspective, I think, is what like Amanda's story helped show me.
Yeah,
That's so great.
I thought it was very cool of Amanda's story that your whole message was put together so well, but we saw in there that Amanda had a Barnabas in her life with the greeter, right?
Yeah.
That didn't know the impact that greeter may have had on her, but look what it did. But then also hearing her story finally, and on the screen there, she said she had a Barnabas at that time in her life.
Yeah.
Somebody telling her in one of her worst seasons that she had a purpose. And man, you don't know the impact that can have on somebody.
You don't know. And now that person, whoever that Barnabas was, I love using that. But yet now that person has had a cascading effect from Amanda to whoever Amanda impacts is a part of that too. Like it's
So great.
It is.
So great. So the big idea you shared this week is an ordinary yes can make an extraordinary impact. And I just love that.
Yeah, that was good.
Big idea. It's so sticky. It's just something that we can like remember. And it's, it's just one of those things that I think is something that has been true of this whole series.
Yes.
That could have been the series big idea. And you introduced us to Barnabas, and his story is in the book of Acts. And I love that his name is actually Joseph. So maybe we can start calling Joey Barnabas.
Yeah, you're pretty mad at that.
Yeah. So Barnabas is really more like a nickname.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about who he is for our podcast listeners, and why he didn't just go by Joseph? Like, why does he get that nickname?
Yeah, so I think it's Acts 4, I think verse 36 or verse 37, where they talk about the generosity that was done in Jerusalem, where everybody's bringing all their stuff, selling their homes, and giving that money to the apostles to give to whoever's there. And you meet this guy, Luke says, for instance, there's this guy named Joseph, who the apostle nicknamed Barnabas, because apparently he was just this big, encouraging person. And as you look at his story, you kind of see bits and pieces of that without them telling it fully. But you just see that he was just a guy that loved to lift people up. And I don't know, I forget the questions that we have here, but he gave his cousin Mark a second chance. He's just an encouraging person. And I think that just stuck. They saw it in his grace, in his generosity. And he started calling the dude Barnabas because he was an encourager.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to drive the point home yesterday that he was just a normal guy.
Yeah.
He was from the tribe of Levi. He's a Jewish person that ended up trusting Jesus from a small island. He's not from like big LA. He's not from, this big metropolis city. He's from a tiny little island. And he really made an impact just because he said yes to Jesus. Like there's nothing. Yes, he's made in the image of God. He's a special person, all that kind of stuff. But he's just like us.
Yeah.
He's not a superhero. So
that's good. But I will add that I don't want the name Joseph to be thrown shade on. Okay, Joseph means God will add.
That's
okay.
Yeah.
Very important
Big
too.
Stuff. Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay.
It is.
So God will add or encourager.
Yeah.
Either one is good. We got it. I
had to look that up when I saw
good
the question.
Each way.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the things that I love about Barnabas is not only is he encourager, but also like a lot of his qualities you can tell are contagious.
Yes.
So this idea of his generosity, like you can see that it like spreads. So like his generosity becomes contagious, and all of the people around him also become very generous.
Yes.
And so do you find that to be true? Like when you're around generous people, you're a little more focused on becoming generous. And on the flip side, like if you're around people that tend to be a little more insulated or like about themselves and a little more like about what they can gain for themselves or becoming a little more materialistic or something like that, then you find yourself kind of starting to lean a little more that way. Mm-hmm. And if that's true, why do you think that's true?
Yeah. What's the saying? You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, kind of deal. I think it is awesome that every year when we do the gift, the wave of generosity that sweeps through this church is incredible. Because I know Jamie sweats every single year, and every single year, as far as I know, it's been the goal we set has been blown out of the water. Like it's incredible to see how we can be influenced by other people's generosity or encouragement or the love we show or the forgiveness we show, and how that can influence people to follow in those footsteps. Mm-hmm. But like you said, conversely, it is true the other way too. And I know that, like at different churches that I've been at, like at the church where I grew up or where I was before here, you can notice that whoever you spend the most time with, you become like those people. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I love being here. Like I'm looking at the Go Be Love sign. Like I have seen so many people who get here and find that this culture that we have of generosity, of showing love to people who may not get that love any other way. Like it's contagious. You see, you saw that 2,000 years ago in Acts, and you see it today still. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think generosity is about helping those in need, right? Mm-hmm. So the people that give here to believers, they allow us to do that, and through the gift and stuff. So a lot of times, that's why I love the transparency of our church. We really let our people see what we do to help others in need. But I also don't want to silo that, because you can also be generous with your time and your skills. And we saw a small piece of that I took from Amanda's testimony, was that she said she donates her time volunteering every Tuesday with Meals on Wheels. And you're asking, is that contagious? Well, after I heard that, I was sitting there thinking, and I looked up Meals on Wheels and stuff. I'm just like, man, I don't know if I, do enough in my free time to volunteer on those efforts. So, you hear something. And because when she was sharing that, it wasn't just that, right? It was a part of a bigger testimony. Mm-hmm. So you not only hear what she's doing, you see how it's impacting her life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why it's contagious.
Yeah, that's so good.
It is.
So Tyler, you just mentioned the gift, and you shared about how much Believers has given through that effort. That's our end of year offering that we do. We've been doing it since, I think you said 2003.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And each year we've kind of increased the goal of that amount. And so since 2018, you shared that we have given $669,615. That's just since 2018.
It's incredible.
It would be really fun to go back and see how much that's been since 2003.
Yeah.
But this year, our goal is going to be $100,000. That's our biggest goal that we've ever done. It's the first time that we've done 100,000, and Jamie's been very apprehensive about making it to that $100,000 goal. But I know you guys are going to do so awesome, and we're just going to crush that.
Yes.
But do you guys have a favorite gift project that we've done over the years? Tyler, you've been here since 2021.
Yes.
How long have you been here, Joe?
Since 2017.
Okay.
16.
So,
okay.
Do you guys have a favorite?
That first one, because like I forgot when I applied. Like July that year? I can't remember.
June, maybe? June of 2021?
Like
yeah.
Got here September. First day was October that year. And I had no idea about the gift. Uh-huh. And it just blew my mind that we would give that much money away like that. Just no strings attached. No like, hey, you got to sign this thing, this weight. Like it was literally, here you go. And bye-bye. Go give it to someone else. Or keep it. If you need...
That was the year that we did. That was the first year that we did the $100 gift cards for
and
grocery gift
right.
cards.
I could not say that right. But
$60,000 worth of $100 gift cards. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I think back to that. I mean, often, and just the shock that I felt in my system to know that a church is doing this.
Yeah.
I get to be a part of this.
Right.
And it's just, it was so awesome to see that happen.
Yeah.
The stories that came back. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's all.
The great grocery buy down.
Yeah. Yeah. It was hard to pick one. I will say of the gift, what's extraordinary about what we do here is we are very open about asking them, this is not in place of your giving.
Yeah.
This is in addition to what you normally give.
Yeah.
And we still crush that mark. So that's incredible. And so I think my two favorites were one that we actually got to like go to and see in action happening. So we do several stuff. Like we bought a van for one of our churches overseas.
Yep.
And we do a good job of showing them. The churches like send us a video of how it impacted them. So that's incredible. But actually getting to experience it yourself. So the grocery gift card, I got to give mine to a homeless man in Mod Pizza. And just the story that came from that was incredible. And then I think it was last year we gave to the local schools, right? The high schools. And the story with Nansemond River and everything was great. Yeah. It was so fun being a part of our community like that.
It really is.
I think one of my favorite ones too was a few years ago, we actually paid off all of the school lunch debt.
Oh, that was really good.
About that.
In Suffolk.
Yeah.
So that was like really fun. And we were able to, then the schools actually sent out letters to all of the families to let them know that their lunch debt had been covered.
Incredible.
And that was one of my favorites too.
My
Just
mom
to
would have loved
think
that because back when I was in school, she would always ask us to eat breakfast before we left, but their breakfast was so good. And they tell kids that are like 8, 9 years old, oh, you can just charge it. You know, so at the end of the year, my mom would get a bill.
This big old bill. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. Okay, so Barnabas also, so he said yes to generosity. He also said yes to friendship with an outsider. So how has that looked in y'all's lives? Have you said yes to outsider friendships?
Yeah, they actually had a pretty cool story that involved yesterday as well. It was a tough question to answer because now I think they were once outsiders and now you have a relationship with them. So it was like I had to backtrack to back when they felt like maybe they were an outsider. And I was leading the parenting B group for a couple years, and we had established like the same core people. We'd have a couple new people join, but same core people building relationships. And Tina Sanders came and joined, and you could just tell that she was super nervous, everything like that. I could tell she felt like an outsider, but as B groups do here, super welcoming. She quickly built those relationships and everything like that. And then she comes across the next step in her faith journey, which is serving. And again, super nervous, but she came to me yesterday after hearing your message and said that I was that person for her that encouraged her
so
through that.
cool.
I said, wow, that's incredible. She said, yeah, I wanted to serve, but I was very anxious about it. And now she's serving with the 2-year-olds back there and watching my baby too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it felt so good. There is no price tag on that feeling right there.
No.
Yeah.
It gets no better than
That's
that.
awesome.
Wow. One, I'm still praying for him. His name is Artur Bayul. He's from Ukraine. I met him when I was in college, and he's just this massive bodybuilder. So people were afraid of him, you know. And me and my college cockiness, I would say, thought I could go toe to toe with this guy working out. I know he's Greek Orthodox, but I don't think he would say he's a follower or anything like that. And so I would just invite him around to our little Bible studies we had on campus and just hang out with him and try to love on him the best I could. Even when he walks in the room, because he's just massive. So but a big old teddy bear at heart. But I would say he's one of my outside friends in the faith that I'm still praying for.
Yeah.
And so
How close did you come to matching him?
not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Not even. It was no. Yeah.
I love that.
But he loves it. I tried. Yeah.
Keeps you humble.
It does.
Yeah, there
It
you
does.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. So Barnabas also said yes to reconciliation, and I love this part of his story so much. And the Bible doesn't shy away from showing us conflict, which I also love, even among believers. Yet reconciliation is what we should fight for, unity, not division. So how does this part of Barnabas's story encourage you today?
Wow. I think, like, if you look at the story of Barnabas with Saul, like, Barnabas, like, I would love to one day ask him, like, did you know Saul previous, like, were you there when he did what he did to Stephen, or were you there when he was doing all this stuff? And I would imagine that he would, if he wasn't there personally, he knew people that were affected.
Sure.
And yet, because that he knows that he was an enemy of God, he has received forgiveness. He shows that to Saul in a way that I don't know how he ever did that. And that he kept pursuing this relationship with this man, the point where they become church planting buddies. They have this disagreement, but I wish we did have all the pieces together to piece together how Paul ended up reconciling with Mark. But like I said yesterday, I don't know, but I have to imagine that Barnabas was in there somewhere, and I think that just gives me hope to not give up, like to continue to fight for reconciliation, no matter how hard it is. And I know there's certain situations that it's not healthy to do so, but whenever we can and wherever we can, to fight for that, because, man, like, we still feel the effects of that reconciliation today between Paul and Barnabas. I mean, Paul and Barnabas, and Paul and Mark. And it just shows what Jesus has done for us, that he didn't give up, that he chases after us constantly. And that is a reflection of something that's not seen today, because in the world today, you screw up once, you're cut, canceled, you're done, and you're forgotten. But that's not what God's called us to. He's called us something so much better.
Yeah.
So
That's good. Yeah, I had a very, very close relationship that went south in my early 20s. And, we tend to be pretty stubborn. And so we went years without speaking and stuff, and not even putting out there what each of us was feeling, how we felt like we were done wrong. And I felt like I was done wrong for sure, but how I handled it was not right at all. And so then I started attending here, and it doesn't take long when you first start attending here for us to bring up Matthew 18 at some point and what that means and what that looks like and the reconciliation that can come from that. And so after hearing that, I'm like, yep, that makes total sense. It started weighing on my heart, this relationship with him, and didn't want to do it, like I'd run into conflict on that level, but I did. And let me tell you, when you practice Matthew 18, the first once or twice you do this, it may be a little uncomfortable. You're getting used to it. It's something different. But now, if you have a problem with anything with me, just come talk to me. I'm gonna do the same with you. Like, now it's everywhere in my life. Anytime I have a conflict, I'm going right to it, because the reconciliation that comes from it, and you end up on the better side of it afterwards.
Yeah. And I love so much, Tyler, how there are like a lot of missing pieces in Barnabas's story. But at the same time, there is throughout Scripture, like, enough that we can kind of see that there was some sort of reconciliation that did happen, and that Barnabas had to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to be. And so I think that's just to put that into practice. Like, there has to be, we have to be people that will fight for unity and fight for forgiveness and have a desire to put our faith into action and to model what Jesus has done for us. I mean, that's ultimately what Paul and Barnabas were wanting to do, like,
Yeah.
and Mark, like they were wanting to build up the church.
Yeah.
And so, like, even in that, things might get messy. We're all a bunch of messy people. We say that so often. And we have disagreements. Those things are going to come up. They're going to surface. We might even need to take a break and part ways for a little bit. But to be able to come back and just kind of refocus and say, hey, we all want the same thing. We all want to be working together to be able to point people to Jesus. I mean, that's what they were all wanting and what they ultimately came back together for, even at the end of Paul's life. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love that that's how you kind of wrapped things up.
Yeah, the role Barnabas played with Paul. After, like, I knew Paul's story and all the good that he did and his past as even a murderer, but you did such a great job of showing how Barnabas was an extraordinary nobody because of the role he played in helping Paul get back to and be forgiven.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have worked.
It would, yeah. I don't know. God can do anything he wants, but we don't know what would have happened if Barnabas didn't do what he did to bring in Paul that way.
Yep.
It's we don't know.
So great.
So go after those difficult conversations and forgive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Jamie's big idea a couple weeks ago, the behave the gospel, not just believe it,
Yeah.
I think that is it right there. We see it all
That's
in
right.
Barnabas' life.
Yep.
Like he was behaving it. So
That's right.
yeah.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. We hope you'll join us this Sunday as we continue this awesome series. We'll be here at 9 and 10:45, or you can join us right here on YouTube at 1 o'clock. Thanks for being here, friends. Go and be love.